Hello everyone, Jay Roy here again. Sorry it's been a little while. It's been a very busy month, really. My life is a busy one already. You would know this if you know me or watched any of my videos so far. But anyway, then there's a lot going on in the world right now, and I could probably make a hour-long video of all of my different thoughts. However, I'm going to stick to transgender-related stuff because I have received a lot of questions since my last video. So I'm going to try to cover a lot of the questions that I got there. And if you have any other questions or comments on anything I'm about to say or anything I've said in previous videos, any questions I haven't covered before, please comment away and I'll do my very best. Without further ado then, I'll get into the questions that I've been receiving. So the first one is, what's your favorite aspect of transitioning? Is there something pertaining to your transition that instantly makes you happy every morning when you get out of bed? Wow. It's depending on when you ask someone along their transition, you're going to get different answers. For me personally, and just remembered a disclaimer, my experience is my own. I don't speak for everyone who is transgender. I just speak for myself. Getting up every day these days, I guess over the last year, as I start to get a little more fuzz on my face or my voice starts to get a little bit lower, I'm starting to feel more at home in my own skin just sort of every morning now. Certainly I have some very bad days where things about my body bother me more than other days. But generally speaking, in my everyday working here in the shop, people certainly respect me as male. I never have a problem with that anymore. So basically ever since society sees me for who I am, I suppose that's my favorite part of the day now, is just kind of getting to really be myself and navigating through this world as myself and being seen that way. So I guess my favorite aspect is being seen the way I feel. Do you have any advice for parents if their children are transgender or questioning their gender? I don't have kids, so but kids tend to like me, and I like kids. So really, I would just say if you have a kid who's questioning their gender, just listen to them. Be supportive. If they want to wear certain articles of clothing, let them, and be their bodyguard. You know, like they're going to have people who are dumb who comment and who make ill-informed comments and insults, and just be there to defend them and tell them that however they're feeling, it's okay to feel that way, and just support them. That's all. Just be a supportive parent and listen to their words. Language is extremely important, and that includes body language, so just be aware. Just love and listen to your children. Let's see, what else? Since someone asked your favorite thing, what has been the most difficult or challenging about physically and emotionally transitioning? Well, actually, to talk about emotional changes, that was a little bit of a roller coaster, right? I think there's a myth out there about testosterone rage. I've never really experienced that, but when I first started hormones, the reaction time of what I was feeling and how I would react would shorten. It was very shortened. And it took me a little while to sort of feel at home in this new chemical reaction that was happening and that was balancing out. I'm able to clearly articulate my feelings now about pretty much anything, and that was not the case pre-testosterone. I always felt very confused. And I guess it's now, hindsight is 2020, realizing that my body chemistry was off, so I basically just couldn't process things properly. So that was a really challenging part before, like just not knowing about yourself. And now that I've got the correct hormone in my body, now that all makes sense. So that was frustrating before. But yeah, I guess impatience is a thing that you got to tackle. As a trans person, I believe, certainly in my own skin, I've had to, changes take time. And when there's a lot of people out there who are transgender telling their own stories, you can get into the habit of comparing yourself to others. But really, every single person is an individual, and we all react to hormones differently, and things take longer than other people. And sometimes, you can stand there being jealous of someone else, not realizing that there's people being jealous of your changes probably. So I think the most challenging thing is to be patient with yourself, to not measure yourself against anybody else, and and just it's really just a practice in patience. Unfortunately, a lot of people find that extremely challenging, and it is, and that's just the case. It is very challenging to wait for these things, especially when you've taken all of that time to figure out who you are. Now you know, and then you're just stopped again. So that can be a challenging thing. But support groups help. Just having friends who understand your situation helps, and having people who also experience it helps that you can talk to. So what question, or at least what kinds of questions, do you find yourself getting asked by some folks that you either find awkward or just pet peeve questions? Yes, sometimes I can get questions. I can't think of any right now, but being transgender does not make you a teacher. However, I have put myself out there to answer questions for people, and so I get a lot of the same questions. But honestly, I'm an open book when it comes to this stuff, and I particularly put myself out there to ask or to answer the questions that people do tend to ask a little bit too much, but that's okay. That's people all learn at different speeds, and I'm just here to help people feel comfortable to ask whatever they're going to ask, so that's okay. I won't tell you what those questions are, because people will probably ask them again, and I will answer them just as patiently, hopefully. What do you think is the best way to get the greater society to erase and reconstruct their ideas of masculinity and femininity? How has that played a part in your journey as a non-macho trans man? Well, I think I can be macho sometimes, but I can't in others. I think everybody has, I know everybody has a feminine and masculine side, as opposed to maybe someone who doesn't apply to those at all. That's fine too. But you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It's a long way. I can't fix society. If I could, I would have done it already. We all do our part. We all do what we can. I think that the girl Lego and Kinder Egg stuff, it boils my blood whenever I get stuff in the store sometimes, like Japanese Sailor Moon toys. It'll say for girls. I'll literally take a black Sharpie and I'll find every single side that says for girls, and I'll black it out because it pisses me off. I think people need to realize that crying is not macho. It is, having feelings is a human thing. We need to sort of realize that it's not a dichotomy, it's a spectrum of gender and gender expression. And hopefully as the younger generation gets older, they seem to have it right, so hopefully as they grow up and become the dominant portion of society, all of those old school ideas that are basically out of date will just, for lack of a better term, die off, and hopefully we'll come to a spot where we'll have more acceptance. I mean, the world is a crazy place right now, so acceptance seems a little far-fetched, but hopefully we can come to that spot. And realize that anyone can like anything and express themselves any way they want, as long as they're not hurting anybody else, really, right? Yeah. Oh, and my friend Olivia has offered to give a trans woman perspective in a future video. So I would love to include her in that. So if you have any questions specifically for trans women, please do comment, and I'll let her answer those in a future video with me. And so that'll be fun. I'm excited for that, because you don't want to just hear me ramble on and on. We want to see some other things go on. I was also asked my views on the new Canadian Blood Services policy that's anti-trans, apparently. I actually have not gotten a chance to research all of that. I have gotten to look at some articles. I guess what I'm going to say is I'm not a medical expert. I think a lot of what I've read is atrocious, and I think that if someone wants to give blood, the only thing that should be a factor is their medical history, really. Because there's a lot of need out there. I know I'm not allowed to give blood because of my weight. They'd have to give it back to me, apparently. So that's why I don't really know a whole lot. It's not an experience in my life. But please, if you have any other questions, I'll do my best to research. I think I've actually covered all the questions in here. So have a great day, guys. Please let me know if you want to know anything else. And just love each other out there. Please be kind to one another. And we'll see you in the next video. Okay, bye-bye.